Happy Saturday, everybody. Hi, how's it going? Welcome back to Nouns on the Air with Optoshi and Sheffo. I usually start by saying that we go live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST, but that has been kind of just all over the place. But that is happening specifically because we travel around the world talking about nouns, NFTs, and DAOs. And so sometimes that time is going to change when an event is going on, just like today. So we are here live. It is 11 a.m. where I am in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is our final live stream from Sao Paulo. We will be here for a couple of days after the event, but we are on day 2 of NFT Brazil. A lot of exciting things to talk about, but of course I can't do that without our awesome co-host for Nouns on the Air, GM Sheffo.
Hi, how are you this morning?
I'm great. I also
Was that too formal?
No, I just noticed that we're matching again.
Well, pretty much.
Always.
That was totally not intended. You went this way, I went that way, and we just came.
Okay, I chose this way first. Okay, my on the ground VCon super exclusive T-shirt from that event that we made for Nouns, and so I don't know. I was just inspired this morning. Obviously, in my Nouns merch and gear, as I always am. But if you follow this live stream and this podcast at all and you watch the actual videos, you will know that quite often me and Sheffo kind of like accidentally match, but it is true. He like also sat down and was like, I'm ready. I'm like, are you? We are in the same shirt.
I needed to switch shirts from a medium to a large, so is what it is.
I'm just going to make you
feeling more comfortable.
A little bit more big on the screen
you
here.
Do that. I'm going to do a slight adjustment too, Optoshi.
Oh.
There we go.
I do want to just, as we were doing this adjustments to, just a gentle reminder, as you guys know, like we are doing this live. This is actually episode 23. We're learning the whole time that we're doing this process. And I do have to say, I'm sorry, just a personal apology. Last night we had what I was like feeling in my soul was like kind of one of the better live streams that we had. And we did a live review, a beer review of Public Good IPA. I was trying to like clip the clip last night after we had finished, and I noticed that Sheffo sound was off, and I was like, no, how could this be? Like everything was fine. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
We're learning as we go. I think sound is good today.
It's too early to do a beer review, and we don't have,
I know,
and we don't have any beer, so
it's too early to do a beer review.
We will do another one. I think that we should do another official beer review, so maybe we'll do that at the event today. That could be a lot of fun or something like that. So we'll figure it out.
Could be. And just you guys, I'm like Wizard of freaking Oz back here. Like there's a lot of buttons and crap, and like you literally don't press one.
Thank you.
I also need to get that closer to me. Hold on.
You need like a Bluetooth sound thing. You make do 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 do.
Yeah, here we go.
Wow,
that reminds me of the live music that was happening last night at the NFT Brazil Day 1 after party.
Wow.
There was
I wasn't expecting that.
Brazilian awesome music, and then like the DJ would like throw in the air horn, and we were just like, yes, we know this sound. We love this sound.
There was a famous singer, and he went off. I wish I had his name here written down, but that was incredible. We have some dope footage. We'll have to. JP said that he would reach out and see if we could use some of that music in the documentary. It was awesome. There was like this horn player, and he had this horn that like, I think it was a trumpet, but it was some kind of like modified trumpet. It was really, really unique looking and sounding. So that was really cool. And then there was another DJ who came on later after, and we, of course, got them to put noggles on, and that was awesome.
Seems to be like...
It's like a challenge.
It is a challenge. Like every single country, city we go to, if we are at an event and an after party where there's a DJ, like it is a challenge to kind of like, you just hold up the noggles. And
full disclosure, I almost got security dude by when I tried to give him to Alec Monopoly. That didn't work out.
No.
And Busta Rhymes, I couldn't make that happen either. But
it's okay.
We're always out here trying.
We're doing our best. And in that, it ends up being like a lot of other artists and DJs that really like love taking them on. They put on the noggles and then they kind of do their thing. But, it's part of the whole process of when we're out there proliferating for nouns. It's like, as much as it's an opportunity that we can create, like it's what about the opportunities that you just have to absolutely go for. Exactly like we're at VCon. We were able to wave the noggles in front of Gary Vee and give him a pair of noggles. And so it's a perfect example of opportunities creative opportunities to sort of get as many noggles into people's hands as possible. They exist all around, but you got to be, brave. I think like I say brave because it is hard to kind of like, insert yourself into someone's existence. But I will say that every single time someone takes the noggles and puts them on, like they love it. Like they're extremely nounish. Very, very cool.
You know what I'm doing over here, Abtoshi?
I don't know what you're doing over there.
Well, you had said something that I liked, so I made a note, and I made a note in our unofficial sponsor in a Rocket Book. Rocket Book seems to be this amazing thing. I got this at VCon. You can like write in the thing. Oh, let's do this. We'll do noggles.
Is this one of those notebooks where it like does something and you can like erase notes or something?
Yeah. So make the noggles, draw them with this special pen that comes with it, and then you have to get it a little wet on this cloth that comes with it.
Interesting.
And it just comes right off.
So don't use it to write down.
I didn't get it wet enough, but it comes right off.
Don't use it to write passwords is what you're saying.
No, this is not a seed phrase item. We'll leave that to other products, but this is really great, and I'm working on some notes for later this afternoon.
GM chat, GM Malcolm World. Let's go.
We were just talking about you yesterday, Malcolm.
We were, because we actually got to meet one of our awesome subscribers. He's like always in the chat with us, Ronnie. And it was really cool because last night I opened up like a world map on my phone while we were talking, and he got to show me where he lives in the world, which is like really very far south in South America. I showed him like where Los Angeles was and all these different cities in the US. And then we looked at where you were, Malcolm, on the world, and we kind of like had this moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, like we get to do this live stream and go live, and like our friends who are like chatting with us most in the chat like are all over the world, and it's a wild, magical thing to kind of realize. And so
it's powerful.
Yes, because truly, like, we are, because of our proposal with Nouns, which of course I'm going to go over in a second. We will pull up the Nouns website. We are like committed to a certain amount of episodes of doing this, but like honestly, that has just like provided a structure because we've really like fallen in love with this live stream podcasting format. We're trying to make it better for you guys all the time too. So we will be going live either way, but having you guys here is everything, and it really makes it a little bit more special and worth it. So thank you guys as always for tuning in, and we will probably Malcolm
smash that like button.
I'm going to literally, Malcolm, be reaching out to you. We would love to have you on as a guest.
Oh yeah.
If you have access to like a webcam, we can just port you right in. So we'll make that happen, I promise. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about this thing, because we got a lot of nouns talk today, considering we will be ending this live stream and then sort of finalizing our presentation. We get a 30-minute talk at NFT Brazil on the main stage, which I'm so excited about. Thank you guys so much at NFT Brazil for inviting us and allowing that to happen. It was just going to be a solo talk with me, and then we were talking at dinner the other night, and I'm like, Shefo should be there, and he's going to be really representing the side of these sub-communities that come out of Nouns, as we have seen happen quite often in the ecosystem.
I'm not going to say no to the opportunity to talk about things that I love, and I appreciate the offer.
I think it's going to be great.
But I do think it'll be really good, and I'm just super proud of you for getting us down here and getting on the roster next to our buddy Bob. And, it's really great stuff. And I think that, the team yesterday gave really awesome speeches. They were in Portuguese, so I couldn't quite understand all the words, but I definitely kind of like could follow along.
You can understand the vibe,
the context, and the vibe.
Well, that's what was so cool of like.
So I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited too. Like, and we do 2-hour live streams, 30 minutes. They're gonna have to probably like cut us off, to be honest. But during JP's speech, as much as it was in Portuguese, they had images of nouns and stuff, and so you could follow along. We knew when they were talking about Prop House, or we knew when they were talking about specific proposals that have been funded because the image was there. And then at that point in time, you're kind of like hearing these terms that come up, and it's a really cool experience, and it kind of shows that nouns are universal and definitely international.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go really quick to this Nouns website, as we do every time. This podcast and live stream is possible because of NounsDAO. If you want to know more about how that happened, you can visit nouns.wtf/vote/206. That was the Nouns on the Ground 2023 proposal. It's the reason we're doing all of this and get this amazing opportunity to travel around to all these different events. How is this even possible? It's because there is a treasury within Nouns. How is that treasury built? Well, see this little awesome, amazing raven. Have you seen this now today?
Nope.
Shefo?
No.
It's a really cool, like super
Let me look at my
dark brown shirt. He's got a chain. He looks like a little.
What do you really?
He's wild. He's a raven with like black glasses. It's cool, dude. This guy is chillin'. He's about to go out to the club, to be honest.
My goodness.
I really like this guy.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Okay, so one of these is
Cool.
this is an NFT. It's a noun. One is auctioned every single day. 24-hour auction. We are about 10 hours and 50 minutes away from this auction ending. If you want to watch this auction end and see who wins that bid, go ahead and follow the Noun Square on Twitter. They follow the auction every single day and have like an awesome Twitter space, seeing what the next noun is that they bring in. We do have a little bit of time, so not a lot of bids on this yet. 0.01. That's kind of like the thing that happens as soon as these auctions start. Is someone throws down a 0.01 bid just to kind of get their ENS out there or say hey or show that they love nouns. But what will happen is at the end of this auction, all of the proceeds of the auction go into a treasury, which is currently sitting at $54.3 million or 28,560 Ethereum. We do, I like to on the stream, we say the dollar amount, just so people kind of have an idea, but we are ETH maxis, and in the Nouns ecosystem, people ask for proposals both in Ethereum and USDC. So keeping it crypto, guys, keeping it crypto. We have 303 proposals that have been put up so far. Maybe since a couple of these start in like 4 days, let's leave it to next week when we kind of like deep dive into these proposals. The next time we will be live, we will be in New York City. I'm so excited to be returning back there, but we will do a deep dive on these proposals from this week because it looks like we will catch all of these guys next week as well. We do want to focus on sort of NFT Brazil today, and I will go back here. And what we're doing here, since it is our last live stream here, even though there is a third day of the event tomorrow, I've already, we stayed to do the live stream before going to the event today, instead of what we did yesterday, doing the event and then coming back and having a later stream. But we just, if we cut a little early, you guys, like that's why, because we're already like, also I'm already mentally in the headspace where I'm like, okay, we're getting ready for the talk.
We have homework.
We have homework to do, and we're good at it. But it's so interesting, like right before you do your talks and stuff. Like especially in NFT NYC, like I couldn't really be around people. I'm kind of just like rehearsing in my head, just making sure like I have these like talking points. Just like before you go on stage, you want to feel a little bit comfortable. You kind of like are talking out loud to yourself. And so we will be doing that today a little bit after this live stream just to get ready. And then once that talk is over, we are just like full blown NFT Brazil. Again, we have so many fun things happening. There's so many stickers going around, Nounish stickers. Alestradora is here and gave us these awesome Nounish tattoos that I know were funded by small grants. I think it was funded by small grants or Prop House.
It's making me want to get a tattoo.
One of the two.
I almost committed to getting a tattoo yesterday. There was a friend of Akva's, and he had these really cool tattoos, and I was like, oh, I like those. And he was like, this is my good friend. I'll make you an appointment. And I was just like... all right, and I just thought about it, but I slowed my roll a little bit. So, but I want another tattoo up Toshi.
Your tattoos are cool. Like I've always like had this like vision of having like really cool tattoos or something, but I've just never pulled the trigger and made it happen. I don't know. I'm also like very afraid of needles, so it's a whole thing. Maybe one day I'll get over that.
No, I saw this thing on TikTok the other day that there's this new kind of ink that is designed to actually fade, I think almost completely. So like they're like you still get the tattoo, but they only last for a few years, I think.
I don't know if it's like the permanent thing that like scares me, especially because you can get like laser tattoo removal now. I know that is like more painful than the actual tattoo itself.
Yeah, and I think that it's not like your skin looks like exactly like it looked before all that. So I think
It does fade. It's interesting. I also like wonder, like, you know, I obviously have like fair skin, but I am like covered in freckles. So I like kind of wonder like
you can connect the dots.
what that. Yeah, that's actually hilarious. Just like you're like, what is like this like scribbles? Like, oh no, it's to connect the dots.
It's like your own astrology.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if I found like some astrology? Okay, that's too much. I'm thinking too much about that now. I think I'm good on the tattoos for a second, but I'm very bullish on temporary tattoos, especially if they're nounish. There is just, you know, again, I apologize for last night's sound not being 100% because we were gushing.
Certainly, you don't know. You don't need to apologize to me, Altesh.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, we're having like very sincere moments where we were like gushing
Yeah, it
about
was a good show.
NFT Brazil, the individuals who are here making it happen, the people in the Nouns community, the Nouns Brazil community, coming together and just being like the nicest, hardest working, most epic people ever. And so we were like having these like emotional moments talking about them. Maybe we could save some of those clips, but I'm sure we're going to be doing that again today too, because it really is the thing that keeps coming to mind. When I'm thinking about this event, and you know, since it is the last live stream of this week, it's kind of cool to sort of close out this city and this area of where we are. But truly, like, I am just floored by the people who are here in this city, and more specifically, the Nouns community members, be it builders or artists or anyone that's been in the Noun space that I've been witnessing, getting to meet all of those individuals here in Brazil in person. It's been truly special. And I really just can't thank you guys enough for allowing us to have this opportunity. And I know I put NFT Brazil on the calendar for the OTG 2023 calendar, but I couldn't have really expected being received in this way. Everyone is so kind. We've gotten to meet, oh my gosh, last night after the stream, we went back to the like after party for day one. It was awesome. There's like live music there. But we really got to meet with and hang out with a couple of NARS athletes, which was epic. It kind of really showed the community of NARS and just like how it's proliferated around here. Like they were all in NARS gear and they're like epic athletes, like surfers, you know, like doing things that like I am just stoked as a normal human to just watch from the sidelines and like cheer people on, because there's just no way that I could do that. So like collecting these amazing individuals from around the world into this sub-DAO, NounsDAO, it really just shows you the potential of what these sub communities have, which I think you're probably going to get the opportunity to touch on in your part of the talk today, Shefo.
Yeah, we might do some of that. So if you were gonna do an extreme sport up, Toshi, what, like if you were just gonna gnarly it, you know?
Oh, and just go for it?
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember that? I want to say it was called Made. Do you remember the MTV show Made? They pick like
I think that was in the time period where I didn't like, you know, like because you watch MTV when you're younger and then you take a break and then all of a sudden you find yourself watching things again. But there was this period where, no MTV.
No, okay. So imagine this. It's a show where like they come to a random person, you like write into MTV, like, what would you be? We'll make you it in 30 days.
Oh, cool.
And so you could be like, I want to be a pageant queen, or I want to be a ballerina. And it's someone who has like never danced before. Or I want to run a marathon. You know, just like there was like very extreme, crazy ones.
Concept. You know, it's amazing what human beings can do when given the right support and training.
The coolest part about it is MTV then, if you're picked, comes in, films the whole experience, like day 1, day 2, day 3, and like hires professionals to like help you achieve that. So you'll have like the best dance coach, or you'll have the best thing, like pageant lady. I don't know. I remember the pageant one like distinctively because like it just like stood out to me as something. But so, okay. So if I was on Made and I had to pick an extreme sport, what would I pick?
I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to think on that. I do have like some innate skills. Like my dad was a surfer, so I did like I can't like do tricks on the water, but I can stand up on a longboard and like totally cruise in.
Now we're talking.
And that is like so fun, but also so much work. Like you go out a couple of times, it's so tiring, you guys. Like paddling back out there, like these NARS athletes who are like surfing all the time. Like I don't even know how you do it. You have the
I
stamina of like a.
tried to do longboarding a little bit, a couple times, and
Could you stand?
yeah, I can get up, but I was just shocked by how like hard it is to swim that thing back out there.
Yes, you like you
Oh.
stand up, you're like cool, and then it ends.
And
And
I'm a good swimmer, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a good swimmer. You've seen me swim, but like it's so intense on the shoulders. It's crazy.
yeah, it's cool. It does like work out those
Yeah.
things, and you know the part about surfing that's really cool is as much as you like put in this work to get back out there, when you're like sitting to wait for like the next wave or something, like you're out in the middle of the ocean and it's gorgeous and you're just sitting there like, oh my God, like what is life? Like this is so nice. And so there's this like almost like how in golf, you have that like it's really slow, it's patient. Like a lot of the sport is this like waiting sort of moment, like kind of very much the same in surfing, except for those like action moments, and definitely except for the NARS athletes who are like on massive waves doing really cool things.
Yeah, golf and surfing, that's an interesting comparison. I hear you. There's definitely that calm in golf, but there's not really that wave in golf.
Yeah, you're not paddling to the next
no,
hole.
No.
Yeah, maybe it's golf actually. I guess that's not an extreme
Golf?
sport.
No, not an extreme sport.
I don't know. What would
But
be your
I
maid?
suppose one day we'll, maybe have a NARS golf athlete or something. Or
Oh,
I mean,
100.
someone should do golf DAO. Like I know that we talked about that on one of the Spaces links where 500 people, they have a DAO and they literally bought a golf course.
Yes.
And it's one of the coolest things that's happened in Web3. But yeah, definitely that'll be interesting.
What would be your sport?
Well, I don't know. I used to snowboard a little.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe something like that, but I don't know. I think like maybe like skydiving. That's a sport because there's a lot of movement.
I don't know. There's not like a finish line. There's not a goal. You're not like making any points. I guess if you were like a
Good point. All right.
like a Cirque du Soleil skydiver.
Cirque du Soleil
I don't know. You know how people like make the like it's like I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what they're
like synchronized swimming, but they do it in
Yeah.
the air.
Yeah.
And they all skydive at the same time. They grab each other's hands. They make
Yeah.
shapes and stuff. I don't know if that's a sport. I don't want to like
maybe
minimize what
I
you guys
know.
are doing.
Maybe like sand dune surfing. As a kid, we used to go to the sand dunes in Kitty Hawk where they flew the first airplane, the Wright brothers, and there are these humongous sand dunes, and I'm sure they're not as big, as a kid and stuff, but like going down sand dunes, that would be cool.
That's kind of cool. It's a little bit, I feel like at least when you're surfing, you can hit the water in really wrong ways sometimes, and it feels like you're hitting cement. But I feel like sand,
You just
gotta hurt.
You just tumble.
you're just, I don't know if I like that at all.
You're covered in sand.
But I believe in you. And if MTV remakes made, you should try to just say, hey, I want to be a professional sand dune surfer.
I'm down.
I saw a TikTok actually of someone, I don't know where they were, but they do that. It's like these trips where they go to the very top of them and they like lay down on a board and they're not so much surfing. They're just like laying there and they go super far, like really fast. I'm sure that's really, really fun. The other thing that isn't really a sport, but is like very calming. Have you ever done the parasailing or like, the gliding where like the boat takes you and like you go all the way up?
I will
and you're
not
just, like,
do that.
Okay, I can't believe I did it in Mexico.
I will not do
in
that.
Puerto Vallarta.
I've seen a TikTok where the thing broke and the guy floated literally into the city.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I don't want to get like PTSD thinking about it. Like I survived, but I will tell you that this moment happens where, it's loud, the boat's going, you go up, and when you're up there, it is complete silence. Like what I would imagine space to be like, like obviously you're not up in space without like a suit or anything, but like there's no sound in space. Like when you're up there, you don't even hear, there's not even like wind. It's the wildest experience. It's so still. You have this moment where you're just like by yourself up there and you have this view of wherever you are. And it's like the most still, calm
it
feeling.
Sounds incredible. I can't believe you did it.
Yeah, that was like what I guess. God, I was like young 20s. I just didn't care. I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, I was fearless.
Fearless Toshi.
I'm like, I'll do that. I would not do that right now. I would not do that right now.
If I hadn't seen that TikTok, I'd be more. But nah.
Well, these videos that we see, that's what made me stop going on amusement parks. You know, the chair rides, the swings, where the swings are there on the chains, and they like, no, I'm good. I've seen someone launched from that with the chains. I am so good on that.
I couldn't even believe it when we were at Oktoberfest, the level that the Germans
Oh
get.
my
Do you remember
God.
that? The Germans put the fear of death in you, and you wash it down with a beer and a funnel cake.
Every single amusement park. First of all, at Oktoberfest, we didn't know it was like an amusement park, like carnival experience. I literally guess I thought it was just like beer tents and stuff. So there was massive beer tents, but there was like rides, like amusement park rides, but every single one of them was like the most aggressive version of that style of amusement park ride that you have ever seen or I have ever seen. Like we're talking like even the spinny rides were like going like 50% faster than most spinny rides. If you're being like whipped around to something like you're like,
you know what it is?
wild.
It's they have confidence in their engineering, which good for them.
That's true.
You know, amazing.
German engineering.
You know, German engineering, whatever. But like that was shocking. And you just, I'm sorry, but
hey, I didn't hear about any of those rides breaking down.
It's not happening.
Yeah, not happening for Sheffo. I can barely get Sheffo to enjoy like a Peter Pan ride at Disneyland.
A Peter Pan ride?
You know, like the little slow like rides where it just like takes you through a little world.
That sounds fine. I
say Disneyland, but I think I've only taken you actually to Universal Studios.
Yeah, I like that, like where you're going in and then like the fire and all that, and like that stuff's awesome.
But you're not necessarily like an amusement park person.
First of
all, no
all,
offense, I'm not like throwing you under the bus or anything. I'm just saying.
Like, there's a special place on earth that is hell, which is a hot amusement park. Like, on a hot day at an amusement park,
that's why they have misters.
Good. Like a nice fall day or something like this, or like a spring day. Yes, that's a totally different story. But like that midsummer amusement park, no, thank you. I've done that. And it is tough days. You're just destroyed at the end of that thing, and you have to keep it together the whole time. You think you're gonna die. There's stimulation. You know, everything costs like $100. Whatever you look at, it's like $100.
We need to get you like noise canceling headphones and a mister, and I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, one of those fan things that you can. Oh, that's actually that could help.
I hear what you're saying. Like Universal Studios obviously is a little bit more like older kid family friendly. You're not seeing a lot of kids. Like wait till I force you to go to Disneyland with me one day. Like it is a stroller town. Like there are like people bringing their newborns to Disneyland.
That sounds like where the next pandemic is going to start.
I don't know.
I'm good.
Of course, that's in the news. Little Mermaid, #1 movie in the entire world. I haven't seen it yet. It's a little hard to see like brand new movies when you're traveling. And then especially if you're in a city where it's going to be like translated then into Portuguese.
Did it just come out?
It just came out.
Okay.
Obviously like Chloe. I'm gonna get her name
Are
right.
there like
I want to get her name right.
new songs or like special new songs?
No, it's all the songs that you know and love from The Little Mermaid.
Well, I was hoping that you would say that and then maybe sing us one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Halle Bailey. Halle and Chloe. Chloe's her sister, okay? These are like two girls that were discovered by Beyonce. They have incredible voices. They sing together in like these beautiful harmonies, but she was actually cast to be Ariel. And so I heard her rendition when she like opened for the movie. She did it at Disneyland of
I think
A Part of Your World. And it was just angelic and so beautiful and amazing. So if you think there's any other movies that we've missed while we've been out there traveling, I know that it's kind of like a Disney one that I would like to see. Disney's like redoing all of these things. Oh my God, speaking of redos.
Did you hear that Disney's moving to Illinois because of the Ron DeSantis thing in Florida? They bailed.
I didn't, but
and they're going to Illinois.
Hey, the best thing about this live stream is like we don't talk politics. We don't talk politics.
Well, no, that's facts.
Well, that's strange, and I think that Illinois is like very dangerous, and I don't know why they would be bringing a family style amusement park there. Talking as someone who lived in Chicago and saw people being like literally heard gunshots all the time. It was so strange. No offense to anyone that lives there, but that seems like a strange move for Disney. But dang, I was gonna say something, then I heard DeSantis, and my head started spinning. Disney. I don't know why. I was gonna say like the other things that have happened. I'm so sorry. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. That's me.
That happens.
I'm the problem.
It's okay. No one's the problem. It was something that just came out. It was another important movie that was not Disney. That was like Disney-like.
Okay.
I'll catch it.
Yeah.
I'll get it, guys.
Was it animated, or is this like a?
Oh my gosh, no. I was talking about, okay, so Disney's obviously like redoing all of their movies into these like live action amazing movies. Guess who else is doing a remake, you guys? Harry freaking Potter. So excited. HBO is actually going to make it a series, and apparently they're doing like each season is going to be one of the books. So it's going to last forever.
So you're excited about this because I have seen some controversy here where some people, they just like the movies.
Yeah, okay, the movies are great, but like those like kids that we all saw grow up as Harry Potter and stuff like are like full-blown adults now, and like it's time for the next generation to kind of get that experience as well. But of course, the OG original Harry Potter movies, like I love all of those characters. I was a kid that read all the books, and the characters that they chose for the movie like felt like exactly what I had pictured everybody to look like and to act like. And so it was very special. And you can't say that a lot about books. It almost is like if you're a book reader and some movie comes out from a book that you've read, it's really, really hard. You almost like go into it like not knowing what's going to happen because you've created the whole world yourself. Like you've imagined it and you've had these experiences, personal experiences with these characters as you're perceiving them while you're reading them. But Harry Potter is like one of those exceptions where it kind of, for me at least, like it just felt exactly like the books.
Now remind us all again what house you are. What are you? What house?
I want to say I'm Ravenclaw, just like the noun today, the little raven noun.
And I think I'm which one? Hufflepuff.
Oh, Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I would say that you're probably a Hufflepuff.
Puffing on the Huffle. I mean, they like snacks and having fun. So
yeah, they're the chefs. Exactly. So fun.
And
Ravenclaw is more of the like uptight thinker people.
Like in the houses are in each book. So like each season you'll like this.
Oh yeah.
The theme of the houses will always be.
Wait, this is you guys chat, live stream people. This is the best part about this new series happening is Sheffo has not really seen the other movies and he didn't read the books, and so like I get to take Sheffo on this series experience in bringing him all the way into Harry Potter, just the same way we like binge watched Game of Thrones, all of those seasons from beginning to end because he had never freaking seen them when I had met him, which I just thought was crazy.
Not all of them like that, but I had seen some. But yes, that was awesome. I actually really enjoyed doing that.
But you know what's crazy to think about that? Like the time. Like if every single Harry Potter book is a season, like we're talking like 8 to 10 years here, depending on how they break it up. But the same thing kind of happened with Game of Thrones. That was a years-long experience. And so we were like, as we were watching the series, just kind of binging it, it was interesting to watch it all maybe like 3 to 4 months when like people who had kind of seen it in real time had spent years.
Right.
And like we would end a season and then we'd have to like, before starting the next season, we'd be like, okay, now imagine like an entire year has gone by. Cause like to keep that suspense of like how they ended one season, like you had to really think and like wait on what happened next for an entire year. Obviously, except, you know, Game of Thrones, also books. I only read up to like the 3rd book. Did you read the Game of Thrones books? You didn't?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. That's definitely like the style of book that I really like, but I should probably get back into reading again and like mandatory force myself to put down all my digital devices at some point during the day.
I'll do it with you.
I get very into books.
Maybe we'll have a book segment where we each read a different book and we tell each other about the book.
Well, that's not fun. We have to read the same book so we can like actually talk about like how we feel about characters and stuff. Like a book club does not happen where
so chuggy of you.
Chuggy. Have you ever seen a book club where like all 10 people in the book club read different books and then came together? It doesn't happen.
You make a fair point.
Yeah. I literally was in a book club in middle
So
school, but
who
that's a
gets
story
to
for a
pick the?
different time.
You can pick the first one. I'll pick the second one, and we'll trade off.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, unless we like pick a series.
I had a TikTok. I do use I like TikTok a lot actually, but yeah, I
Same.
saved this one. It was like 5 books that taught me more than my business degree, and so maybe we'll read a business book.
That'd be cool. Also, when nounish novels, there should be like a epic Lord of the Rings style, Harry Potter style,
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Game of Thrones style, like nouns, like series. It would be freaking epic.
That would be epic.
Maybe once we start reading again, we'll get inspired. Shefo is actually an incredible writer.
I've been thinking about starting to write, and being here in Brazil is, I don't know, like felt just inspiring, seeing like a very noticeably different vibe
Mm-hmm.
within an entire culture. It's just like super refreshing. I feel this place makes me feel more like an expat than like Europe, you know, like coming here, you like, because in Europe there are, you know, it's just more like, I don't know what, like hoity-toity sometimes or whatever. And like, and I personally love that, obviously, like as a chef, and like, don't get me wrong, like that's all good. But like, there's something incredibly refreshing about being in South America. It just feels different. And I don't know, it inspired me the other day to start thinking about like what perspective I would want to try and write from, or like character development type of things. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, I have like read some of the things that you've written, like fiction wise too. And I know even if you're like describing something that you might have experienced, but you're kind of like elaborating on it, like I just think you have beautiful writing. Like hats off to like actual writers like that too. I feel
Yeah,
like most people
crazy
think like
heart.
I could write a book, and it's
Well,
like
and now
yeah,
there's like
I wouldn't know how to do that.
ChatGPT. Like, how does that even like how do you do that as like an editor? I mean, you have to figure that like even famous writers out there, they're gonna start using ChatGPT and other AI,
Mm.
100%. And then you're gonna get like someone that literally like has a full book written about AI, which I don't know. I don't think AI is quite there yet, but like we'll
That
see.
would be a really cool experience or experiment actually with nouns, if like writing that like Lord of the Rings style like nouns novel, if you really did like sit with AI, because I don't think you could say like write this, you know,
Right,
like
exactly.
I think you would
You
have to
couldn't
like
be
sit
like,
with it, get a storyline,
yeah,
get characters, maybe say like, okay, now I want a plot twist or something. Like I
yeah,
don't know how you would have to sort of coordinate with it.
exactly.
You probably could say write a
It might actually work better if you like
30,000 thing.
you like did, you know, because you know how it like does a prompt and then it's like stops. Like you could do like write 1,000 words based on these things, and it like starts, and then and like you know, then say, okay, the next part of the chapter or something. I don't know. This could be really interesting.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm thinking about it now. We should totally try that out. Also,
Because
GM chat, GM Ronnie. It's awesome to see you
wow,
here as always. We were just
amazing.
talking about you. We were gushing about you.
Ronnie is right down the street from us today, so it's good. We get to hang out.
We're excited to come. And don't forget, our talk is at 4:30. So if you're going to be at the conference, 4:30 is where you want to hang out at the main stage. We will both be there. We're obviously excited to get back and just to sort of like get back into this NFT Brazil zone. I know we went off on a tangent there too, but this is why we love our Saturday streams.
Feels like a Saturday.
It feels like a Saturday, but also like going off on these tangents. This is literally how we creatively develop things within nouns. Like, and this is how I know like every conversation that we have with people from around the world when it comes to nouns, immediately like this creative response happens and people are like, oh, well, I could write a book, or like I could write a song, or maybe I'll design a t-shirt, or like something. Like people, like when they hear about nouns and they can sort of understand the structure of it and then hear our story of what we've done with it, immediately go into like, well, what I do creatively within this project. And so it's I think it's good to have those exercises where you do this. And like if like it's the only way to kind of continue to develop like your creative side, you know?
Yeah, you have to push yourself creatively as you know, get older, for sure. There's just life, and life sometimes can leave you drained or not with enough time or something like this. But there's different ways to be creative. I think that's another good thing too, is to have different ways of being creative so that you can kind of fit them into your life in different ways.
Yes, and then Ronnie, I see your comment here. What's our feedback about the Brazilian community? We did last night on last night's stream, even though we had some not good sound issues, but it's okay. We did gush about you guys for a long time. We've talked about it a little earlier when we started this episode, but truly, Ronnie, like I think you know the vibes too because you are here. But like the Brazilian community is unmatched, so great. Like they are just about to take the number one spot away from my favorite people in the world, which currently it's Aussies. But they might be coming in hot. We love the Brazilian community. And what we kind of were really talking about last night is this overall sense of joy that we feel within people. And you feel it at the conference. The conference is with all these thousands and thousands of people coming through it. Such a great little like experiment of like what the culture here might be like, especially since there's a lot of youth there. But we took notice to things like there not being a single fight or people not really having an argument and people kind of problem solving together or like people like being happy and cheering each other on at these talks. Like being fantastic listeners at each of the talks. Whereas sometimes in other conferences, I know everybody's busy and it's okay. You're not mandatory having to like sit during someone's entire talk, but to see that this community is doing that for people, listening the whole time, being active listeners, cheering them on. The second someone's mic goes out, everyone in the audience raises their hand, like we can't hear you. Like it's very collaborative as a community as a whole, and we just can feel that and see that. And yeah, Sheva, you can obviously share your personal experience, but like truly, like we can't stop talking about this overall, like really beautiful feeling that is very much present here within the Brazilian community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with all that. I think, for me, it's like it's a respect that it seems is shared amongst everyone here or the vast majority of people. It seems like there's like a baseline respect for one another. And I think someone had mentioned the other day, like, or last night when we were hanging out, like, at the end of the day, if someone's like, oh, you're from Rio, and they're like, oh, you're from Sao Paulo, like, they might give each other a hard time, but
in jest.
But in jest, and like they love the fact that they're all Brazilian, whereas like, in the States, people take it very seriously where they're from, and they that can become a little more heated, and so I don't know. I just felt like this general respect, and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, and a kind of overall connection of like, hey, well, we could all be from different parts, but we're all like kind of born from the same place, and like there's a connection there. Which yeah, you're right. Like I wish that we did see a little bit more in the U.S. I still think like there is kind of this tinge like Americans have, where it's kind of like, oh,
you remember that country
you're American
song?
or something.
I won't try and quote the words because they were inappropriate. But remember that country song when we were driving through Texas? It was and it was talking about the other state, and we were like, oh my gosh, they're like really talking a lot of smack on this other state.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, it was weird, man. But yeah, no, I feel the overall just vibe of the community, and it's a massive country, and so I think that if that is the case, like throughout the whole country, then that's spectacular. But you know what, Abtoshi, we're gonna have to come back and do some more exploring. We'll have to head down to where Akva lives. He lives quite a bit south of here, so we pretty much have an open invitation to go down there. So we'll head down there. We'll keep going south. We'll really make our way around, and so I'm excited to do that. I don't think it'll be this trip, but hopefully one day soon after that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already sad that we would be leaving so soon, but we do have a few days left here. Again, this is the second day of NFT Brazil. There is the third and final day tomorrow, and then we have a few days sort of in the city where we do want to go out and film. The Avenue Paulista is like this really vibrant, lively, huge street with all this shopping and stuff too. It's like one of the main sort of focuses of Sao Paulo, so we're pretty close to that. We would love to go there and film, and hopefully, not only through the live stream where we talk about.
I want to go to a skate park.
Yeah, exactly.
With like Vlad and maybe Bob.
But even in the live
relevant.
stream, you know, we talk a lot about and focus on NFTs and DAOs, but hopefully through the documentary that we're shooting as we're sort of traveling around, we also get to really have a focus on like the culture of the places that we visit, food from the places that we visit, meeting random people from these places. So
Architecture.
there's a little bit more of that vibe.
Yeah, there's.
And, you know, maybe we can find out like a unique way to sort of share that with the stream as well.
What about the most epic sunset that we've ever seen?
You guys, and we've seen sunsets. Like,
I mean, I've seen some cool
this
sunsets.
one was so beautiful. It was like this burnt orange that I've just
It's incredible.
incredible.
I have it on the film camera.
I didn't realize that Sao Paulo was going to be one of my favorite cities. And it just truly is. And actually, when you like look up per capita, like how many people are here, Manhattan I saw was like 1.6 million. Like Sao Paulo is 10x Manhattan, you guys. It is massive. You look around and there's not a square inch there. You're not seeing a tall sort of building that's either a skyscraper for business, but what mostly looks like living, like apartments and condos.
Yeah. Well, even last
it's
night,
incredible.
you know, we were good, you know, like, and we didn't go to the after party.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, like those guys, they were looking at their Ubers and they were like, 30 minutes. And we were like, like she would be fast asleep. I'd probably be not far behind her, you know, and it was just not happening. But I'm sure they had a good time. But yeah, they were like, 30 minutes, that's no big deal in Sao Paulo. That's like kind of like average sometimes. And it was just like, oof, you know, that it is a large city.
It's large. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's exciting to have been essentially invited here to be a part of this conference, which I just actually, if you guys go on my Twitter page, I just quote retweeted a post from Vlad. NFT Brazil made the news, like the local news here. There's an interview with one of the founders. There's an interview with two of the artists, and they really are talking about NFTs in this very positive light. And seeing that is like so cool because I haven't really seen that. I just want to say, like, since Paris, Paris, there was very much this, like, the whole kind of city was like adapting it. And they're like, okay, welcome to NFT Paris. Like, you guys are welcome here. Innovation. We want this to happen. The first lady was there opening up the ceremony. But like here, yeah, I'm just going to say I haven't seen sort of like a whole city kind of take on the excitement of an NFT event since that point in time.
Yeah, 100%. And as a matter of fact, I had a chance to speak to JP about this yesterday, very specifically. And we were talking about different dynamics of the event, sponsorship levels, and how, you know, I was asking questions like, how is it going? Like, what, you know, like, how does this feel? What's going on? And, you know, one of the things that I was really like amazed to hear and surprised was that some of the top sponsorship came from the government here, the local government and the mayor, and out of some of the conversations that Bob and the team had with him. But I don't know the exact amount or the percentage, but like, yes, there was some type of funding that was actually provided by the local government to support this technology. I mean, literally, we saw thousands of kids come through this exhibit hall with like grin ear to ear, you know.
They're so happy.
There couldn't have been enough noggles. You know, you could have sat there with boxes full of like paper noggles and they would have literally disappeared and probably been one of the coolest things that like those kids had gotten in a second. Like, it was just so amazing for like instantaneously rip the package open, bam, noggles on. And it was just like, I don't know, that was amazing. And so to hear that they were able to secure support from the local government made me feel really, you know, good about the future of NFTs here in Sao Paulo and Brazil.
You know what I was thinking of as well? Like, it'd be really cool to, if there was like some type of technology that could like scan the internet for photos of noggles or something, right? Or like a shirt that was handed out at an event. Because the other thing you're thinking, or I was thinking of exactly how you were saying, like these kids were so excited to receive the noggles. A lot of kids got like these noggle temp tattoos, but we're probably not going to end up seeing like what they do with those. So let's say they all wear them at school on the same day and like take a fun group photo. We're not necessarily going to see that photo, especially if it's shared on these kids' like own personal social medias and stuff. And if they're not tagging Nouns or something, that's why it's like, it's important to try to get people to tag, but I also think it's very important to understand the unmeasured or unmeasurable sort of proliferation that will happen because these people like are leaving with these epic stickers, and we don't know, like we might not ever know when that one person's going to put the sticker on their laptop. But the same way, like I cover all my stuff in like noun stuff, you know, and don't necessarily talk about how I'm doing that. These events are so important because it's going to be that type of, at this point in time, unmeasurable proliferation that just makes this branding so like, it just really embeds it into groups and
At the
into
end of the day,
communities.
At the end of the day, Noggles will stand for hope. It's actually one of the things that I probably will speak about later, but you know, whether it's athletes or entrepreneurs or people who love food, you know, there's an essence of hope within nouns and within Web3. And that translates really well around the world because people need that. People will always need that. And someone or some organization needs to provide that. And whoever does that well wins, and wins in the right way. And I think that's really becoming apparent as we go around. And I personally think that sponsoring NFT events is probably going to be a good strategy. I think that, you know, there's going to be some more back and forth on that within the DAO. And hopefully, you know, and it will be a case by case basis. You know, there has to be a lot of due diligence, and there has to be, you know, well written plans and just the whole 9 yards. And there has to be like planned follow up and the whole thing and yada yada. But at the end of the day, you know, putting the Noggles and the Nouns brand in front of hopeful people makes it the symbol for that. And I don't know if there's any other more simple way to say that.
Yeah, I agree. I do believe that they're a symbol that can mean a lot of things, hope being one of them. And it's really cool because that's when you know like an iconic sort of brand has been made. And I know that, you know, Nouns is decentralized and is a DAO, but it is an overall, this like big brand has come from it. And as we continue to see different communities proliferating that brand, or we go out there and we meet different people who are using this brand in different ways, and to do different things or to do public
CC0
goods.
brand.
Yeah, it's like it's really showing the magnitude of what a single symbol could represent to people.
Yeah.
And you know, it's something that we will definitely be talking about on our talk. This is going to be a little bit more of a unique live show. We are going to probably cut it right here at the hour, so that way we can do our preps for this talk that is going to happen and get our butts back over to NFT Brazil. And it's okay that we are only having this as our last live stream in Sao Paulo. If you follow us on Twitter, especially, that seems to be my favorite sort of account I'm tweeting from, you will see videos and photos throughout the event over the next couple of days. So please, I really encourage you guys to follow our little handles that are above our heads in this stream on Twitter. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for YouTube. It's really important to us. And you guys will also get notifications every time we go live.
Now, where in the world is Obtoshi going to be next week?
Obtoshi and Shefo will be in New York. We are going into New York City for the Tribeca Film Festival. As you guys know, we went to Cannes for the Cannes Film Fest. We were not able to get passes necessarily to go into Cannes, but we will be able to get passes for Tribeca, which means we get to see movie premieres and hand out Noggles at these things and sort of like get this documentary that we're shooting, this overall documentary, this Nounish sort of Web3 onboarding piece of art that we're making. We will be able to continue to talk to individuals in our industry about that, which is what was the most beneficial part about Con as well. And so we're really excited to be there. But
that reminds me, I owe Molly and Michael a chat. They want to talk to us.
Perfect. Well, like, this is why it's so awesome going out and meeting IRL. And I agree with you, Ronnie. Like, meeting Nounish friends IRL like is the very best. And so, thank you, Sheffo.
You're welcome.
Again for another great stream.
Awesome.
I'm sorry about the sound last night. That was such a good space. But
Abogado.
obrigado.
Obrigado.
Not Aubrey. It's obrigado.
Obrigado.
I like putting the first half of my name into it. Obrigado.
Get me that app, Toshi. Get me that app, and I will be a lifelong linguist. But
Duolingo, baby.
Have a great day, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye. And then I'm just going to close out with you guys on the main screen here. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into Nouns on the Air with Toshi and Sheffo. Live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Live today from Sao Paulo, Brazil. About to go do a talk at NFT Brasil. We are so excited, and I will be seeing you next week, next Thursday, when we reach New York City. Different set, different vibes, different event. Until that point in time, thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. Give you guys a couple air horns there. We really, really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your